So first, second order in the agenda is the gratitude, actually. First to the scientific committee, composed by Antonio Branco from the University of Lisbon, Petra Schumacher from the University of Cologne, Ashwini Deo from Ohio State University, Heike Wiesa from the University of Potsdam, Catherine Davidson from Harvard University, Hans Boas from UT Austin, and Eva Wittenberg from UC San Diego. They did a wonderful job I haven't worked with many scientific committees in my time, but this particular set of people understood the objectives of the seminar, of the workshop, and oriented us, the organizing committee, as to the ways in which the talks could be framed, so that as feedback to the speakers, to the presenters, such that they would reach higher, better coherence. And that was wonderful. It was a wonderful intellectual exercise, and we are extremely grateful to all of them for their work, which happened during the summer, which is not normally a time to do those things. Now I want to introduce, so that you can recognize them, although some of these pictures are a little dated, the rest of the members of the organizing committee: Martin Fuchs, Jisoo Shin, Sara Sanchez Alonso, and Muyet Jang, or Andy Jang. So what brings us together? Meaning examined through development, variation, or change seems to lead to converging observations, and if so, these domains serve as potentially mutually constraining forces. So what questions could we have from that? Well, how could those domains be understood as forces in the first place? How could those forces even work? And what is the architecture of language that could result from this interplay? The byproducts of these are big questions, overarching things, and some of them we try to explore here, the beginnings of that. The byproducts of these discussions, we hope, are the continuation to continuing to dissolve the methodological barriers that, in our view, are highly, the barriers are artificial, and they are just formed by traditional ways of doing our work, and but they don't have to be true. And then support each other in the process of the inquiry. Another thing that we wanted to do was to reflect ourselves as who we are, and the we mean the people here and the people who are, some people haven't arrived today, some people will arrive tomorrow, of people in this workshop. And the first thing is that we got to a distribution by topic. So there are 10 talks on development, 3 talks on variation, 8 talks on change, and 9 talks on what we are calling meaning and mind. That did not fit specifically in this and the other 3 areas, but is certainly germane to the larger idea, for a total of 30 talks. Then we also have a distribution by sex, which means we have 35 female presenters, 20 male presenters, for a total of 55 presenters. And this is a little map of where we are coming. We are all coming from, and let me just call your attention to somebody coming from Melbourne and somebody coming from Chile, and then a bunch of us from Europe, and a bunch of us from California, and a lot of us from New England. So it's great. And then we have about 34 universities represented. Or a total of 34 universities represented, and here, these are their names. So now I want to tell you something about the map and the poster. So the map is what you see over there, and the poster is what you see over here, and it's in your programs. The map was hand-drawn by Jisoo Shin. She's a class of 19, majoring in linguistics. And we're very proud of it. And actually, it's an informative map. It looks beautiful, but it's also informative. You should take a look at it, and it's in your program as well. The poster was designed by Justin Moore, Yale 15, also a major in linguistics. And Justin currently works as a junior production designer with Amplify Education. The typeface used in the poster design is the Yale typeface, designed by Yale School of Art faculty member Matthew Carter, It incorporates in its design many of the formal characteristics of the old-style typefaces used in Yale publications since the 18th century. The final design draws inspiration from black and white illustrations of ribbons in motion from the Italian architect and graphic designer Franco Vignani. And these are the ribbons, this is inspiration, and we call it the flux, following the lead. And so the reason we went for the spiral shape is the following. We actually went and looked for meanings of shapes, and this is what we found coming from a book called Grammar of Shapes by Stephen Bradley. It says, spirals are expressions of creativity. They are often found in the natural growth pattern of many organisms and suggest the process of growth and evolution. Spirals convey ideas of fertility, birth, death, expansion, and transformation. They are cycles of time, life, and the seasons. Spirals move in either direction and represent returning to the same point on life's journey with new levels of understanding. They represent trust during change, the release of energy, and maintaining flexibility through transformation. So we thought it was a very nice backdrop for what we want to do these 3 days. And with that, I want to introduce our first speaker of the afternoon. His name is Ray Jarkendorf, who received his PhD from MIT and is now a research scientist at MIT. We have invited Ray because he has done extensive work on, among other topics, the syntax-conceptual structure interface and its implications for the structure of language, for the architecture of language. And this work has been incredibly useful in how we understand lexicoconceptual development and lexicoconceptual change. So for that reason, we invited him. For all of our invited speakers, we asked them a specific question which normally would not show up on the CV, which is, can you give us a one-liner that you, from all of the reviews, the revisions that you got from, you send a paper to the journal, and then you get these revisions from your reviewers. And then can you give us a one-liner from a review that stayed with you? So Ray sent me a letter, actually, that he received in 1975 from somebody who was not a reviewer per se, but who had published a paper in the same edition, issue, thank you, in the same issue as the paper that he himself, as his paper called Morphological and Semantic Regularities in the Lexicon, which was published in the journal Language in 1975. And the quote says, and we had asked for either constructive one-liners or less constructive one-liners. So what I did was went through the letter, it's a shortish letter, but still longish, longer than a one-liner, and extracted what I thought was the most relevant aspect of it for us. And it says the following: Dear Ray, blah, 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 as if any rational person would even consider listing either decide or decision in the lexicon. Such an idea reduces you to the level of Chomsky. Best wishes. So it was maybe a less constructive kind, but one that all of us who's ever published anything are bound to receive. And to the extent that Ray is here talking to us about language, it clearly
the other guy isn't.
Survived the task. So I leave Ray to you.